Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask you to stand with me if you choose to. I will be invoking the wisdom and the goodness of our Creator God. I will be using the name of Jesus Christ to mention that at the end. If that's offensive to you, then I invite you to step out of the room. If you're watching online, maybe step away from your computer for a minute. But all this is done in love. Father God, we come to you again, Lord, just praising you for your goodness to us, Lord, and your kindness, Lord. We thank you, Lord, for the challenges that we face that only make us stronger, Lord, that help us turn more. Lord, we come to you tonight and ask you to break up the fallow ground of our heart, Father God. Help us to realize that from time to time we do need to repent from either conscious sin or unconscious sin, Father God. Help us to see things from our brother and our sister's view. Help us to see our brother and our sister, even the ones that haven't accepted your Son yet, as precious fruit of the earth. And especially to see our brothers and sisters as precious fruit of the earth that may have value to our conversations. Guide us tonight in these deliberations. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening to everyone. I get this microphone on. Good evening to everyone. Glad you're here. Roll call. Councilman Quaylor.
Here.
Councilman Box.
Here.
Councilman Sims.
Here.
And also myself present. Can I get approval of the minutes for regular council?
Motion to approve the minutes from our regular council meeting on June 4th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get approval of the current bills for payment?
I make a motion that we
Let's going to note, gentlemen, before we go on to approve the minutes, I do have a few more handouts in looking at our council expense approval report. If you take one and pass it down and give a copy to our city clerk as well. I'm not going to go into each of these items, but I would like to ask that you take a look at them. We still have a couple of outstanding items from May the 21st. And so if you'll kindly look at those, I would appreciate that very much. If you have any questions on it, I've made copies of everything that's noted. But if you still have additional questions on it, I'm happy to discuss those with you at a later time. Thank you.
All right, can we get approval of the bills for payment? With
So
that
I'd
being
like to make
said,
a motion that we pay the current bills in the amount of $791,421.65 unless there are objections to said amount.
second. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mayor, your report.
All right. Appreciate it, Councilman London. Want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's my desire that you will enjoy the deliberations as we conduct the business of the city. We'll go ahead and begin with my report. Also have a few presentations to make as well. I want to invite everybody to come out every Saturday through July the 13th. Be able to enjoy the Irondale's Farmers and Makers Market. Also, they had the first movie screen scene on last Friday. It was Barbie. And on June the 28th, we're having Mission Impossible. Those movies are being sponsored by Councilman London and Councilman Sims. And we also have Dancing Things and Golden Rule that are participating in that as well. So it's always good to have sponsors for events. Also, beginning in the month of June, we're doing something that's called the Town Hall Train. And we're going to over 13 or 14 neighborhoods. If you won't come to the council meetings or any of the other meetings that we have in the city, guess what? We're coming to you. We're going to start out June the 24th at Mount Hebron Baptist Church. That's for individuals that live in the Bend in the downtown area. On June the 25th, we're going to be at the Heights Clubhouse at Cahaba Crossings, and that's for everybody that's in the new developments that along that area. On June the 26th, we're going to be at the Eastwood Trailer Park corner store on Alton Road. and we're going to finish it up, which is one of my favorite town hall meetings every year, is to have an opportunity to speak to the seniors at Kirkwood by the river. Now I have a few announcements from my notes. I know I haven't heard anybody talking about this, but there was some census information that came out that talked about how municipalities are growing in Jefferson County. And the city of Irondale was on one of only 4 municipalities that had growth throughout the entire area in Jefferson County. So that's something for us to be proud of. Also, I want to thank the principals at the Irondale Community School as well as at Grantswood Community School. Their reading scores for 3rd graders, Irondale Community School scores increased by 2%. It went, I think, from 78% to 81. But Grantswood Community School made a tremendous gain over this testing period. Their scores increased by 28%. I believe that we need to give a hand to both of those principals, but especially Dr. Lori Hodge that is at Grantswood, because she's made a tremendous gain in improving the scores up there. She's very personable. She has the ability to be able to lead, and I think that we can see that in those test scores. Also, we received a grant from Innovative Alabama. It's $65,000 to be able to install cameras throughout the city. I'll come to you with more information about that. Also, I want to thank everyone who gave comments about the playground. When Emma posted the playground, it wasn't about the playground, y'all. It was about roughing the park. But everybody got very excited about the playground, and there were a lot of good comments that came out of that. And I wanted to let everybody know that we do pay attention when we get good comments. So we are going to provide shade. We are going to put a fence around the playground. And we're also going to make sure that it's user-friendly for individuals that has disabilities as well. And I wouldn't have been able to do all of this. I always tell the joke that Frank and I was the one that was at the table originally when it was created. Maybe we needed some other input to be there. But I do want to say thank you to Ms. Kay Mickle. You can stand, Kay. You're back there in the back. She's also, they appointed her to be the president over what is now called the Playground Committee. So every playground that's going to be designed in the city of Irondale going forward, it'll be Ms. Kay Mickle, Ms. Jackie Crandall, Ms. Leah. Jackie, you wasn't here, but you can stand up. It's okay. Jackie don't want to stand up, but she gave some great comments as well. Leah Swinford, Anjanetta Robinson, and also my very own and my spouse of 34 years, Kimberly Miles-Stewart, is going to be a part of that committee. Also, I want to let everybody know that we've been very friendly in picking up your garbage. We've been picking up your garbage even when your garbage is not in the garbage can. But starting in July, if you do not put your garbage in the can, we're not going to pick it up. If you need to purchase an additional can, you need to go ahead and do that now. But we're going to give you 30 days to get acclimated with using the trash cans the way that you're supposed to use it. It's not fair to the guys on the back of the truck for you all to put 110 pounds in a 95-pound can. These guys are out there in the heat. They have to put up with this stuff splashing all over them. And I think we need to have some empathy and some consideration as we move forward to make sure that we treat them with dignity and respect. Therefore, do not call City Hall the first time in July that your trash or garbage don't get picked up because you had too much in the can. Also for recycling, you all remember when we had something called Close the Lid? Well, seemed like everybody got lazy in closing the lid. Also starting in July, if your lid is not down on your recycling can, we're not going to pick it up. If you put recycling up under the can, we're not going to pick it up. If you put recycling next to the can, we're not going to pick it up. We have 300 additional blue cans. If you need a recycling can, please call 205-951-1420, and they will be more than happy to give you an additional can. PFAS. I'm quite sure you all want to know the latest about that, but it's amazing to me when you post good information about what's going on in the city. I mean, we were getting beat up about not sharing information about PFAS. Then I share information about PFAS and nobody respond to what's going on. Well, beginning June the 24th, if you go over to 2nd Avenue, there's going to be a test that's going to be ran on our water system by Calgon, and it's granular activated carbon. And we're going to be testing for 6 months to be able to determine how long it takes that carbon to be able to filter water out of the system. When you see those big tanks on the 24th, that's what they're doing over there. So I wanted to give you all an update. We do not have any more scores. The last time that we did the test was on, is Jared here, Frank? Okay, April the 29th, and I want to say I gave those results out at the last council meeting, so they haven't changed. Right now, the city is below the minimum contaminated levels. They call it MCLs. So we're doing fine, but the next time that we do a report, I'll make sure we publish that information. The next time we do a report, we'll make sure that we put it on the app. The next time we do the report, we'll make sure we put it on the website. So you'll have all of the information at your fingertips, and I won't have to hear you all complaining about, we don't know what's going on with our water system. That ends my verbal part of my report. Pro Tem, now I would like to give an award. Well, I have 2 awards, but the first award, I don't believe that they're here, the Chapmans. Well, the Chapmans are not here, but I wanted to celebrate his mother because she turned 99 today. And she was going to come to the council meeting, and I was going to present her with a proclamation. But I was getting ready to say, you all know how it is when you turn 99, but you all ain't turned 99, so you don't have a clue. So what we're going to do, Emma, we'll take it by their house tomorrow. We'll present it to them, and or she may come to the next council meeting. But I did want to give her a happy birthday. Her name is actually Miss Prince. I wanted to give her her flowers today. And also, we're so blessed in the city of Irondale. Not only do we have someone that was turning 99, but we also had someone that was turning 92. Mr. Chandler, he's sitting over there so cool. I want to let you know that they tricked you to come to the council meeting tonight. Lee is not getting an honor. We're celebrating your birthday. So if everybody clap for one thing I want to say about Mr. Chandler, when I was running for mayor, and I told him that we were going to pave his road. And he said, Mayor, I've been in this city for over 90 years, and nobody's ever paved this road. I said, well, I promise you, we're going to pave the road. He saw all this paving going on around him, and he came up here to vote, and he said, see, Mayor, I told you, you're not going to be able to pave the road. Well, 1 year later, we ended up paving the road in front of his house. So even if the Lord was to take him home today, I think he feel pretty good right about now because he got that road paved that he had been complaining about. But Mr. Chandler used to own a Chandler Garage. in the city of Irondale. That's on Highway 78. So if you all are familiar with it, he's a fixture in the community. And I'm just going to go ahead and read this proclamation that we created for him. He must have put this for somebody that's like 5'11". Let me go. Okay. Whereas Max Chandler was born to Louis Benson and Grace Eliza Chandler on June the 14th, 1932, and recently celebrated his 92nd birthday. And whereas Max had a twin sibling, plus 9 other siblings, including a set of twins, and whereas the Chandler family moved to Irondale when Max was 3 years old, living on the north side between the train tracks, and whereas Max married Martha Ann Watson on October the 3rd, 1952, and together they put down roots on 4th Avenue South, where Max has now lived for 69 years. Whereas Max owned and operated Chandler Garage in the city of Irondale for 67 years, serving the community with automotive repairs until he retired in 2014 at the young age of 81. And whereas Max and Martha had 3 children, Kathy, Lisa, Michael, and whereas Max is a proud grandfather of 2 and a great-grandfather to 5, whereas Max is a man of faith, a member of Irondale First Baptist Church, whereas Max spent years coaching softball, baseball at Ruffner Park, served alongside his brothers as an Irondale volunteer firefighter at the time when the pay was just $3 per call. Will somebody please tell the fire department that we're getting ready to reduce their salaries to about $3 a call, and I bet we would not have a fire department in the city of Irondale. Whereas Max Chandler will forever be respected, name in the city of Irondale, and the legacy that he's built will live on for generations to come. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, James Douglas Stewart Jr., Mayor of the city of Irondale, do hereby issue this proclamation, wishing Max Chandler a happy and blessed 92nd birthday, in witness whereof I sign and seal on the 18th day of June 2024. Give Max Chandler cool, Ray. You don't want to pay, so balance it out. Nobody wants to get That's really the best part of the job, when we get an opportunity to be able to celebrate those that have made tremendous contributions to the city of Irondale and that they're still here. Again, I just want to say happy birthday to you, Mr. Chandler. I wish you many more, and I hope God allow me to be around here till I'm 92. At this time, that completes my report, and I turn it over to, or back to, Councilman Pro Tem London.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Chandler, if you want to exit, we'll give you time to do that. What a blessing. What a blessing. I told Lee she's not going to get any more Christmas present from him. We're tricking him. At this time, we'll have a council member report, and we'll start with us, Councilwoman Quaylor.
Good evening and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We have several items on our agenda this evening, so I'm going to keep my report brief by letting our council members know that I was unable to go through my audio recordings of the various panel discussions that were held at the Alabama League of Municipalities annual convention that was held last month. But I will be working on getting you a summarized report before our next council meeting. And one other question I was going to ask, we were talking about, the mayor reported on the garbage cans, and this being effective July the 1st. Are we going to have a notice on garbage and recycling in our waste and garbage bill, as well as our website and our Irondale Smart app for those that aren't here tonight or aren't tuning in by live stream? Are we going to make some plans to let them know so that they won't be caught off guard when their garbage isn't picked up if it's not done the way that we need it done?
Okay. Now that you mentioned that, we may move it back to August
Okay,
to make sure that we can put an insert in July's water bill that's separate from the newsletters, because
Okay.
sometimes people don't read the newsletter and they'll just kind of throw that away. But
Right.
we'll put a separate insert in there that has a very bright color to it.
okay,
And we're going to ask people, well, you got 2 months now. So you got June and you got July, but we'll just say whatever that first day we pick up garbage in August,
okay.
that or recycling, that's when it'll go into effect.
Very good. Thank you so much, Mayor. I appreciate that. This concludes my report.
Councilman Box.
Thank you, Council President Pro Tem. Just glad to see everybody tonight. It's awesome when people care about the city, and so I hope in our care that we can be courteous. That's the main thing. Let's represent ourselves well. So proud that our senior activity center is starting to get wound back up good, and going to be hopefully taking some trips and doing more for the citizens that are available to do that. Also, always want to acknowledge our public safety guys, our police and fire departments for what they do, and our abatement board has really been rocking and rolling, getting rid of some of these old buildings. So everybody should be happy about that. Still looking for my neighborhoods to contact me. Out in District 4, we're kind of like the stepchildren. I think we don't have a lot of guys that get involved other than to call me here and there. So once again, looking to hear from you in District 4. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Sims.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. If you did not make it, I know the mayor mentioned the Screen Scene series last Friday, June 28th. Come out again. I've got, I think it was Mission Impossible. I didn't expect to go see Barbie, but I've got a daughter, so we ended up going to see Barbie. And other than that, I'll just let us get on to the agenda.
Thank you. I just have a couple of things. I want to give just a shout out to Chief McDaniels for the Fire Academy. I think we have 2 more, or where is he? We have 2 more meetings. I mean, it's been fantastic. And I just want to say thank you, Mayor, first of all, for allowing the fire department to put it on. It's been very, very eye-enlightening, and I would invite anyone who wants to get involved and find out more about what the fire department does, get into the next class. And then also, if you do not have your CPR or card, we're giving those classes on Saturdays. So you go on the website, you find the application on there. It's $50, and that's cheap. Because if you go anywhere else, this will be a lot more than that, and you'll get not only CPR, but you'll get some first aid also training. So the fire department is also putting on that. So we're glad to do that. And then for I know tomorrow is Juneteenth holiday. I know a lot of my garbage is being picked up tomorrow, but I'm letting you know that if your garbage is picked up tomorrow on Wednesday, it'll be picked up on Thursday. So I just want to put that out and make sure that everybody knows that. Thank you. At this time, we have public comments to the council on non-agenda items. And if you haven't been here, if you have a address, form, and everything here, give it to Ms. Lee.
John Bavona, 1296 Shades Terrace. Topic is occupational license fee. I was at Publix recently and spoke with an elderly cashier who told me she must work 2 jobs to make ends meet. The same elderly cashier that you, the council, refused to help by failing to pass Councilor Cuellar's resolution to reduce the occupational license fee on that cashier's wages, not once, but twice. I often hear words of scripture here, but then I witness a lack of compassion to this elderly cashier and many others like her, including the minimum wage earner. You take from them their hard-earned income with their employment fee, and you give it to many nonprofits, even spending $100,000 in February on land adjacent to the Cahaba River. Our tax dollars. What value is that to us and to that elderly cashier working 2 jobs? For once, I'd like to see a photo op with that cashier up here thanking the council for putting more of her money back in her pocket and not into others holding a giant replica check for PR purposes.
Anyone else? All right, we're good. All right, at this time, we have report on boards or non-council committees.
Hello and good evening. I am Jackie Crandall, the current president of the Friends of the Irondale Public Library. I was last here in April and spoke about National Library Week. The Friends hosted author Jen Phillips, which was a wonderful evening. And we launched our 75 by 75 campaign, where we are seeking to gain 75 members and raise $75,000 by the library's 75th birthday in July of 2026. So I just want to provide a quick update on how things are going. So many of the Friends members were present on April 18th when we broke ground at the new library event, or the new library building, and we were so excited for that. Since then, we've also gained 13 new members. We provided funding for the library to purchase 18 more of the talking books, and these are children's books that are often picture books, but they have the talking mechanism where the kids can push play and it alerts them as to when to turn the page. And so that is something the Friends really cherishes, being able to sponsor and support the library to purchase more of those. And we also sponsor the summer reading program. We had 9 Friends present and some volunteering at the summer kickoff, where there was 107 people who attended the summer reading program kickoff. There are a wide variety of prizes available for anyone of any age, and it is not too late to sign up. You can do so online or at the library. And so otherwise, we are looking forward to participating in I Love Irondale Day. On Saturday, July 20th, the Friends of the Library will be there representing the library, handing out resources just so you're aware of what the library has to offer, what hours they're open, how to get a library card. And we also have some other fun activities planned for that day. Our next meeting will be Thursday, August the 1st at 6 p.m. We don't meet monthly during the summer because of summer reading program keeps us pretty busy with helping the library. So otherwise, I just want to say thank you all for your support of our public library. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, deliberation of the agenda. If you're looking at the agenda, we have 11 consent items, 8 regular agenda items, and also 2 public hearing. We're going to try to get out here as quick as we can, but we're going to make sure we leave here without you getting all your questions answered. Amen. All right, resolve the resolution 2024 R06A, amends the resolution 24 R06 to approve additional public events for 2024. Mayor, that has your name on it.
There were some events that we did not have on the first resolution that we did to call them city events. This is to be able to update that listing. There were some that were missed that should have been on. There's some that hasn't taken place yet. We're getting ready to do those. One of them that I'm very proud that we're going to have is we're going to celebrate our fire department on July the 27th. We're going to have the blessings of the fire trucks. We have 6 new fire trucks. We're going to have an event July the 27th at 8 o'clock. We're going to come down 20th Street with some bagpipes in front of the new fire trucks. Chaplain McClure is going to play a part in the program by praying. And then we're going to have from EWTN, Father Leonard Mary is going to actually do the program to be able to do that. So we invite everybody to come out. But that's what this is for, just to update the list of public events that we're going to have here in the city.
Hey, Councilman Quaylar, any comments?
The only thing I have on these additions that we are adding to the approval for city events, do we have an amount for each of these events? Do we know how much we're going to be spending? I don't see the blessing of the fire trucks as being something costly, but the others, I would like to know how much we're spending for each one of them.
Well, we do not have it broke down by per event, but we do plan on doing these events out of the amount that has been budgeted for community events.
I can, the one that has me the most concerned, because it wasn't budgeted, was the Irondale Music Festival. We spent a little under $131,000 for that festival, and this is why I'm asking for amounts, because I'm not comfortable with approving something unless I have a breakdown for each of these events. Even though the response is it's budgeted, I can say that the organization that I work for and the organizations that I've worked for in the past, if I were to tell them that it was budgeted, they would say, no, I need to know how much you're spending for each of these events. And so I'm going to ask that again, if we can get a breakdown of what we're going to be spending for each one. It doesn't have to be tonight, but if I could get one within the next week or so, then I'm fine with approving it. But I would like a breakdown on the amount that we're going to spend for each event. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Councilman Box?
And before I move on, Council, can we get a breakdown within a week's time of how much these events are going to cost?
I can provide you with a breakdown. I don't think that should hold up the resolution being
No,
adopted tonight.
I stated that I'd be fine with approving it
Oh,
as long
yeah.
as I could get a
That's
breakdown
fine.
in about a
Well,
week.
give me 2 weeks because I'm traveling for
Okay.
1 week. So
2
give me
weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Councilman Box?
I guess the only question I'm looking for is, in my business, we definitely have a budget. We really don't have a total cost on everything till we have a total cost on everything. So are you asking the mayor for more of a projected cost, or are you asking him for a cost that you're going to be expecting it to be held to the penny to that cost?
What I'm asking for is a projected cost, and in many of these events, Councilman Box, we do have the historical data because they have been held in the past. The ones that are new are the Country Fest, that's projected, but the others, we've had them in the past. So we do have the historical, and we can say, well, we want to add this to it too. And so that gives us a pretty good amount as to how much we're going to be spending.
So once again, they'll all be projected, because even
Yes.
if we were to have the same artists back and the same programs back, they may have cost increases. The increase of staging may go up. So all of these will be projected costs.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That's all my questions.
Thank you. Councilman Sims?
I can't remember how much we budgeted for community events. Was it 200,000?
I think it's more in the neighborhood of 3. I don't have it in front of me.
But I guess the way I see it is we authorized a pot of money. We're going to have 30-something plus events, which is more in a year than I think we've had in previous administrations, 4 years. And at the end of that, we're not going to go over the amount budgeted, correct? That's the goal?
Yes, and if I need additional funding, I'll come back and ask that we amend that line item.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's all.
Lee says 360,000.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, 360.
That's off a little. Thank you.
All right, no comment. We leave it on consent?
Yes.
Yes, with the understanding that we'll get a
Okay.
breakdown.
All
Thank
right,
you.
number 2, resolution 2024 R93 approves 040 retail beer on and off premises alcohol license and 060 retail table wine on and off premises alcohol license for Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill LLC. Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill located at 2504 Crestwood Boulevard, Irondale, Alabama. This is Lee, your name's on it. Kind of self-explanatory for everybody. Councilwoman Quaylar, you have any questions?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No questions.
Councilman Sims?
No questions.
No question for me. Consent?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, as we go through these, if any one of these that you don't want to be on consent, just let me know. Okay. Number 3, the resolution 2024 R94 authorized the execution of a service agreement with the Cahaba River Society in an amount of $50,000. Mayor Stewart, this is your names on it.
For the last 3 years, we've been supporting all of these organizations that you see that is a part of the agenda tonight. I want to say that if you take a percentage of what we're giving to these organizations versus the amount that we have coming into our budget, I want to say it's less than 1%. Our budget is around $37 million, and we're talking about providing $200,000 to organizations that provide services to the city, that if we had to create a separate organization for each one of these organizations on here, there's no way that we could be able to fund all of them. I'll give you a perfect example. Councilman Box and I talked about this. Say if we didn't support the Cahaba River Society, say we didn't support Ruffner, but the Cahaba is inside of the city, Ruffner is a part of Irondale. Do you all truly believe that we could create a department here at the city to be able to do the work, maintain the facilities, and do all the stuff that they do for $100,000? I don't think that we will be able to do that. Second thing, when we get into talking about nonprofits, nonprofits' mission is to be able to provide a service to be able to help people. Guess how they do those services? People helping people. It's not machines helping people. It's not buildings helping people. It's not the roads that are helping people, but you hire people to help people because that's the mission of the organization. Now, we support the Freshwater Land Trust at $50,000. We supported Ruffner for the last 2 years for the same amount. So there's nothing different about that. And this year, we're increasing the Cahaba River Society because you all may not know that, may not know this, but the Cahaba River Society runs through the city of Irondale down by Golden Rule. And last year, the Cahaba River Society, along with GMC, was working on a program to be able to stabilize that bank in that area. So if you want to know if they do things within the city of Irondale, I think that bank is inside of the city and that they've done a lot of positive work to be able, we use that as a way of promoting the city. It's an asset for the city to know that we have the Cahaba on one side and Ruffner on the other side. So if anybody wants to know why Mayor Stewart put this on here to be able to support them, hey, it's not for photo ops because he don't need it, but it is to be able to help organizations to be able to achieve their mission, to be able to help our citizens in the city of Irondale.
I think it's Beth Stewart here. Did she come? She didn't come.
Beth
Okay.
was supposed to be here tonight, but we also have representation from Ruffner Mountain,
Okay.
and they can tell their story better than I can tell their
Okay.
story.
When we get to that, we'd like for you to come up and just kind of explain your story.
You all can come up.
Councilman, when we get to you, we'll come up. Yeah, we'll get to you. All right, Councilwoman Quaylaw, you have a comments?
Yes, Mayor, thank you for your comments. Gentlemen, as you know, you received, I have copies of the emails that we received. And I want to make sure that what hasn't been addressed is addressed. And the one question that I would have on this particular resolution is the Cahaba River is a 194-mile long river. And I would be interested in knowing how much of the Cahaba River is in Irondale. That was one of the questions that was asked. Does anyone know how much of the Cahaba River is in Irondale? Does anyone know? I think it's something that we should have an answer to. Because if you're talking about 194 miles, that's a lot. And how large are the other municipalities that this river comprises? How large is their contribution? That's a legitimate question to ask. Other questions are, we do have another organization that I know I personally have worked with, and that's the Cahaba River Keeper. And they do a wonderful, terrific job in helping us with the Cahaba River. I know Jenny Brown is present here. She had some of them volunteer to clean up a lot, privet, and a lot of the overgrowth that was there to make sure that the beautiful nature, the plants that are there, this was done with the Cahaba River Keeper group. And so this is what I look for. And so when people are asking me these questions, they are legitimate questions. There are things for us to consider and getting some answers to. And I would have liked to have had someone here tonight to let us know about the programs that they are doing here in Irondale. What are you doing here in Irondale? We're talking about 194 miles, but how long is it here in Irondale, and what are you doing here in Irondale? Because that's our tax dollars that are being used here for the river, and we're giving a significant amount. We've given a significant amount. When you compare it to the other municipalities, what are the amounts that they are giving? So these are comments, these are questions that do need to be answered, and it's for that reason that if we don't have the answers to these questions that our residents are asking, I think we need to postpone this resolution until we do have the answers, because they deserve to have answers. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Councilman Box?
You know, I looked at this a little bit after Councilwoman Quaylar's vein of 194 miles long, $50,000, and some of you math whizzes can probably calculate that much better than I can, but it's like $258 a mile roughly. And then we divide that by 13,000 citizens in Irondale, so it's 80 cents a piece to try to make sure that our 2 points on the Cahaba River, which I believe we are the only municipality that has 2 entrance points or points to where people can actually safely enter and go from there. The mileage would be good to know. We could break it down further, but I understand also the Cahaba River Society, and it is unfortunate that Ms. Stewart or some representatives not here for us tonight, but the people that draw the salaries there, they go to the state, local governments, Jefferson County, and even federal events to try to bring in grants from the EPA and grants from environmentalists to help protect the Cahaba, which helps benefit the city of Irondale, which leads to a service agreement. The project the mayor referred to, I'm not sure the length of that project, but having driven by there a couple of times right there in front of Simply 10 and on behind Golden Rule and around, the erosion on the bank is pretty significant. Possibly Mr. Bavona might be a little bit more accurate to speak to that, but I would imagine that erosion control might be quite expensive. So I don't think it's outlandish to increase it this year. I'm fine with moving forward tonight, or if we need to bounce it until we can get a little bit better breakdown, that's okay. But I wonder what delaying it would do on them being able to move forward with projects.
Thank you. Councilman Sims?
I just want to point out that in the service agreement, it's for work happening in Irondale. It's Irondale money for work and services provided in Irondale. Agrees to provide protection and restoration services to the Cahaba River within the city of Irondale, to provide recreational opportunities and community benefits to the citizens of Irondale, and to promote the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. So this $50,000 is not going to parts of the Cahaba in Birmingham or any of the other municipalities down the road or up the river, I guess, either. It's for here. It's for our citizens. It's to benefit us. And hopefully other cities will see what we're doing and want to be like us. And I'm good with it.
Thank you. I mean, I think you explained it pretty clearly that, you know, the money that we're giving to not just Cahaba River Society, but the other ones, is that we can't afford if we do it ourselves. You know, it would cost us a lot more than $50,000. So I'm good with the resolution as it is, as stated. All right, number 4, resolution
Well,
20.
What are we
24.
going to do with that? Are we going to postpone it to get some answers to questions that
We go-
residents have been asking?
We're gonna go through it and then we vote yes or vote no.
Okay, so Council Pro,
It's on consent. Do you want to move it off consent?
just fix it,
Okay.
Council President Pro Tem, but we would need to move it. to
That
off consent.
100%. So we'll move that one to
Is
regular
this a
agenda.
budgeted item or?
We'll make it to regular agenda item.
Councilman
We'll move it to
Sims,
regular agenda.
all of these items on here are budgeted items.
Okay. All right, number 4, resolution 2024 R95, authorized execution of a service agreement with Jefferson County Greenways Foundation, Ruffner Mountain Nature Coalition, in the amount of $50,000. I know, Mayor, this is yours, but if you don't mind, can we have Ruffner to come up and then, or you want to make your comment first?
No, well, I'll let Ruffner come up. Ruffner has always been an integral part of what we're doing here in the city of Irondale. There is even a side that people love to come on the Irondale side, and they used to park at the park to enter Ruffner. But since we're doing construction over there at Ruffner, they haven't been able to do that. Ruffner is an excellent organization. Carly is a great executive director. We've always partnered with them to be able to do things on the Irondale side of the mountain. So they've used those resources to be able to do things on the Irondale side of the mountain. I will turn it over to them and let them give you more detail about the work that they've done.
Sorry, I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor Stewart, to all the counselors, any other elected officials in the room, and citizens of Irondale. My name is Leah Davis. I'm the Development Director for Jefferson County Greenways Foundation, which takes care of Ruffner Mountain. I have my colleague here, Samantha Arsenault, she is also my colleague, Development Director as well. Like Mayor Stewart said, the city of Irondale has been supporting Ruffner for 2 years. This will be the 3rd year now. And the city of Irondale was very pivotal in creating a catalyst for other municipalities to contribute to us. We would not be in operation after COVID. We would not be in operation to support programming and support the students of Irondale City Schools, students that are homeschooled within Irondale, and other great community organizations without Irondale's investment. Irondale was a catalyst, and I want to make that very clear for how we were able to sustain this mountain. The mountain was started in 1977, and citizens from Irondale and Birmingham gathered because they wanted this place protected. So it's been standing for over 45 years. We operate a membership program, and for municipalities who contribute at a significant level, and we consider $50,000 to be a significant level, we offer free membership to their citizens. Total, we have almost 200 residents of Irondale who are part of that membership program. 88 of them are paying. The rest are Irondale citizens who receive membership, free membership, because of their tax dollars going back to our organization. And I'm going to read some of their comments. I went to the plant sale this year, and I found out that as a resident of Irondale, I'm eligible for a free membership. Thank you. I am a renewing Irondale resident. I love the easy access to beautiful and varied trails. I am a neighbor to Ruffner, and I can walk to the Irondale entrance from my home. I have a master's degree in forestry, and I love trees, Irondale, and true science. I grew up on Ruffner Mountain and enjoy God's creation. And the last comment is, I love God's creation. In 2021, Governor Kay Ivey commissioned the Hoover Institute report. They were an independent study from the Northeast. They came down and they studied of how do we make Alabama grow? How do we make Alabama more prosperous? What do we do? there's a whole chapter dedicated to outdoor recreation and how trails, green space, all these things help municipalities, help counties, and help the state grow and create more revenue and get more people to be here so that we can have more jobs for people. In Irondale, I mean, Ruffner is definitely a part of that effort. We are attending the I Love Irondale Fair. We attended that last year. We will be attending that in perpetuity as long as the city has it. We gratefully recognize you all as partners and what all you do. And I cannot say thank you enough for the contribution that you all make. And I'm happy to answer any other questions that you may have.
Councilman Quaylar.
Yes, I did want to make one comment, and that is that you've been receiving funding from us for the last 3 years. Not two. It's 3 years. It's 150,000. And again, our citizens are asking these questions, and so I'm asking these questions because they've got some good ones. How much of Ruffner Mountain is in Irondale?
So I would say about, from my understanding, city attorney, correct me if I'm wrong, it's less than half of the mountain, but I would say close to.
Everything along Ruffner Road, you know,
Everything along.
imagine those are access points. For
But how long is that? Is it quarter mile? Is it a half a mile? Is it 10 miles?
So I don't have the direct mileage or acreage, but I would say that all the money that you were giving is to take care of that, provide
Right,
citizens with grants.
but if you can let us know how much of Ruffner Mountain is in Irondale, whether it's acreage or mileage, that would help us.
Okay.
If you could please let us know that. And I appreciate you noting that after COVID, had Irondale not given you a $50,000 contribution, it would have been very difficult for y'all to have continued to do the work that you do. So I want to thank you for making that point. Another question, comment. You stated how the donations benefit our Irondale residents. Is there a way that you stated some of the programs that you provide for our students in our Jefferson County schools that are here in Irondale? Can you give us a list of the various activities that you do, the presentations that you do, how you've used this funding to do these types of programs? Because I think it's good that you're doing that. If you could please provide us with that, I think that would help a lot of our residents to know what it is that you're doing with the funding that we're giving you to help our future. This is our future. It's good that we are looking out for God's creation around us, nature, and we want the youth that are growing up to take an interest in that as well. So if you can please let us know what programs you're doing in our schools, whether it's homeschooling, as you noted, that would be wonderful to have. And I think that basically sums up what our residents were saying. You've answered some of those questions already. So I want to thank you for being here this evening. And if you can provide me with this information, I think that would be very helpful.
I'll make sure that it gets to Lee Allison and she can disseminate.
Thank you.
She's our main point.
Thank you.
Councilman Box, you have any questions?
Just comments. Quick Google search shows you that Ruffner Mountain is 1,038 acres. If more than half of it is in Irondale, that's going to be over 500 acres. Do the math. 50,000 divided by 500 gives you an amount per acre. Divide that by the citizens of Irondale. It shows it's paying about 10 cents a piece to help tourism coming into Irondale, to help preserve a wonderful park nature where people can go enjoy, and also to the point that we've addressed earlier. I don't think there's any way we could hire a Department of Environmental Protection at the city for $100,000. That's my comments.
Thank you. Councilman Sims.
Thank you for coming. Thanks for all the work y'all do. No questions.
No comment. Thank you for coming.
Thank you all
Thank
so much.
And I'm okay with it on consent.
Sam? Okay. Number 5, Resolution 2024 R96, authorized
Pardon, did we keep that on consent?
consent.
Yeah, as long as we get that information, not the acreage, you're just giving us that, but the programs that they're offering here for our children here in Arndale.
Okay.
Thank you.
consent. Number 5, Resolution 2024 R96, authorized execution of service agreement with Heidi's Kids in amount of $2,500 for the provision of food and support to low-income children and families in need in the community. Mayor Stewart, I'm not sure if Heidi's here.
Heidi's here.
She's here.
She could do a better job.
She loves to come up and talk.
Oh,
in front
okay,
of
she
people.
got lost back in there. Come on down, Heidi.
Well, I'm here. I got got all the answers to all the questions I've been seeing on social media about why we need to give to nonprofits. I'm prepared for anybody's questions. I'm Heidi Manberga. I am the founder of Heidi's Kids. I also own the Arts Barbershop, the barbershop in Irondale. This is Sean Rankin. He's my vice president and an Irondale resident. Heidi's Kids, for any of you who don't know exactly what we do, because a lot of people say, oh, you're the blessing box lady. We are the blessing box lady. So that is food that supports the whole community. But we are also in a partnership with the Birmingham City Schools and the Jefferson County Schools. We built resource rooms in both schools in Irondale, the elementary schools. Irondale community has been there this full school year. In July the 15th, we will build the one at Grantswood. So excited for that. Inside those rooms, we spend $28,000 in resources in each school we have a resource room in. That's $28,000 at Irondale Community, $28,000 at Grantswood. With that $28,000, we provide clothes, shoes, hygiene items, school supplies, blessing sacks, which is a new program where we feed children who do not eat on the weekend. So they rely on the food that they get at school during the week as their main source of nourishment. We provide them with 2 breakfasts, 2 dinners, 2 snacks, 2 pieces of fruit, and juice for the weekend. That is a very expensive program. We have 100 children in the city of Irondale that we feed every weekend. In addition to that, we provide 25 Irondale Police patrol cars with comfort toys, which are toys that are handed out for children who are involved in domestic violence or car accidents inside the city of Irondale. At the school, through our resource program, we service 800 students in the city of Irondale. We also provided last year Christmas to 250 children who live in the city of Irondale. As far as salaries at Heidi's Kids, one person receives a salary. I'm at Heidi's Kids 35 hours a week, and I'm paid $750 a month. And that is the overhead that we have. Any questions? I really appreciate the $2,500 that the mayor is giving us. We have only received $2,500 from the mayor one time in the past, and a total of $3,000 in discretionary funding from counselors. I am thankful for every penny because we use every penny in Irondale. And I didn't even mention everything that we do at the festivals. When I first came to Irondale, there was not a lot going on for children at these festivals. We bring the petting zoo, we bring snow to the Christmas festival, we support the Irondale children and built them a float to be in the parade. So we provide a lot for the city, way more than the $2,500 that's a drop in the bucket. So I really appreciate it.
Councilman London.
Thank you.
I
Hold on, Heidi.
since
We
since
also provide food at the senior center.
okay, since that was a part of my report, I would like to add an additional $1,000 to Heidi's Kids.
All right. And then I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to add another $1,000 to feed kids of Irondale for my discretionary fund. Councilman Sims? No pressure.
Yes, Heidi, thank you so much for being here. For those of you that don't know what Heidi does, that's just a little bit of what they do. They do a lot during the Christmas season. They do a lot during Thanksgiving. They do quite a bit. And Heidi, I want to thank you for the work that you do. You're an unsung hero, and I want to just let people that don't know who you are, yeah, they do a lot for our Irondale community. So thank you so much. One comment that I did want to make, and this is, as long as we get this, because our service agreement does state that we need to have the financials. We didn't get, even if it's last year's, as long as we have a financial statement, that's all that we need to comply with our service agreement. So if we can have that, I am good with this. Thank you, Heidi.
Do I need to submit them again? I got special funding from.
Oh, yeah. I think November or December, maybe.
Yeah, the city clerk needs to have those. She then gets them to the rest of the council. So I'm good with it as long as we have that. Aaron, if you want to share that with Lee, that'd be
Remind me
great.
to look for that.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Quaylaw, you want to add some money to that also?
I'm gonna need to get with Lee to find out how much I've got left, because I do have some that is committed already. We spent some of it for the Cahaba, the Freshwater Land Trust, and I've also got the Carl Daly Community. So once I get a number from her, I may just bring a separate resolution. How's that, Heidi? Once I know what the balance is, we can look at that, because I do support the work that you're doing.
Councilman Box?
Okay, so we're increasing to 3,500 at this point.
We're at 4,500.
45. Okay. So, okay, for 1,000 for you, 1,000 from the mayor.
Right.
All right, go ahead and make the even 5,000 from me then,
No, plus 500.
and leave it on consent.
So what'd you do, Councilman Box? I
made
think
it an even 5,000.
I think
Even 5,000.
4,500.
okay. Well, add another 5 for me then, because
500,
I
okay.
at least have that much in my discretionary funding.
So now we're at 55.
Yes.
55. We good? Got all those notes? Okay.
Fair enough.
Councilman Sims, you got anything?
Thank you for all that you and your whole organization does. I don't want there to be any hungry kids on the weekends in Irondale. That's horrible. And so add another 1,000 from my discretionary funds, please.
So way over 65. 6,500. Okay. Anybody in the audience want to give some? Yeah, there we go. Pastor McClure. Pastor McClure. There we go. Okay. All right. We feeding kids, right? Okay, there we go. All right. Thank you. All right, leave it on consent.
What was the final number?
65 plus
65.
plus pastor's 650. He's gonna get with her later.
Yeah, that's separate.
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be separate, right?
yeah. It's separate.
He acknowledged he would give calling it.
It's separate.
Thank you.
That's right. The word said you don't have because we don't ask. All right, here we go. Number 6, resolution 2024 R97 authorize execution of a service agreement with the Prescott House in amount of $2,500 to provide services to the children of Irondale who are victims of abuse.
Is anyone here from the Prescott House? Okay,
There we
I'm gonna
go.
let her speak
Okay.
to what they do for the city.
Thank you for the opportunity to be
I got plenty of
here.
money, I did.
A lot of people say that they're not sure what Prescott House is. We are a child advocacy agency. And that's another question. What does a child advocacy agency do? We are the second child advocacy agency in the country. And the nuts and bolts of what we do is to help children who have been physically or sexually abused or that have witnessed violence. These children come to Prescott House and they have what's called like a forensic interview. They come and they do one interview about
what happened to them. And that helps the law enforcement, the DA's office, DHR, be able for that child to lower the amount of trauma that they have to go through by only telling their story one time. And we do about 400 interviews a year. And that includes every zip code in our country, in our county, and it includes Irondale. I did not look up specifically how many cases we had from Irondale this year, but I know just since January, we've had a significant higher amount because we hear the cities and we hear the names and we know who the law enforcement is. We've been doing this since 1987, and it's a hard job, but it's a job that has to be done because we want to protect the children. We want to do all that we can to lower their trauma. And we recently added a staff member that is a family advocate. So in situations where there's a family and the perpetrator is, say, the father, and the family has to move or the father has to move and they lose income, we help with housing, we help with food, we help with gas cards, we help with whatever we can to get that family restabilized. And we've started doing counseling for the adults, for the parents as well, because they have secondary trauma. So we are very grateful for the funds that you have given us and that you've been a partner with us for so long.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cuellar.
No question. She provided a lot of good information.
Councilman Box.
I have no questions on it as well. Where are you located at? Where's your headquarters?
We are in
Sasa. Very well, thank you.
Councilman Sims.
No questions.
Also, would like to. I got plenty of money in my discretionary. Someone got add another $1,000 to the Prescott House for my discretionary. Leave it on consent.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Number 7. Resolution 2024 R98 authorize execution of service agreement with the Friends of Irondale Public Library in the amount of $2,500 to provide services to the citizen of Irondale through the promotion of Irondale Public Library, such as the library's summer reading program, sponsoring program, and for the library. I think we've already heard from the library. Mayor, that's on you.
I'm going to, if Jackie wants to come up
Jackie
and
want to come back?
speak to it, she can do that.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything else to add, but if y'all have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Councilwoman Cuellar.
No, I just have some comments because I know quite a bit about the Friends of the Library. They do a tremendous work in supporting our library. They sponsored 2 authors, excuse me. And I was able to attend the one at the Irondale Civic Center. That was a really great author. And they also are involved in the National Friends of the Library. You noted that week. You participated in the I Love Irondale Day. You also participated in the Irondale Christmas Parade, as well as the Irondale Fall Festival. So I want to thank you, Jackie. I love the work that you guys are doing, the support that you give our library, because we just heard the mayor report on Grantswood Elementary School and the Irondale Community Schools, the importance of reading. Reading is very, very important. And so the work that they are doing to encourage our children to get excited about reading, pick up a book, that's knowledge. So I want to thank you for what you're doing. We need to have more of this going on in the city because that helps our future. So thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you. Councilman Box.
I just want to echo Councilwoman Cuellar's comments and move forward with saying let's leave it on consent.
Councilman Sims.
Thanks for all y'all do. And I just have a question for the city attorney. I'm a friend of the Irondale Library, so can I vote on this? Or, I'm not getting any kind of direct. Thank you. I'm fine with it on consent.
And I have no question. Consent.
Yes.
All right. Number 8. Resolution 2024-R99, authorized execution of a service agreement with the Exceptional Foundation in the amount of $2,500 to provide services to individuals with special needs in Irondale whose needs may not be met by social and recreational programs. Do we have any representative for Exceptional Foundation here? Mayor, Sonia.
I can speak on their behalf since they're not here. The Exceptional Foundation is in Homewood. And they've been, I have their letter on my desk, but they provide services to children all the way up to adults that live in the city of Irondale that actually has disabilities. We've supported them, I want to say I know we supported them at least one time to be able to do that. But I will give it to our city clerk, Ms. Allison, to be able to send you the letter that they sent requesting support for the city for this fiscal year.
Thank you. Councilwoman Quaylar.
Excuse me. Yes, a few comments. I did do some research, and this organization, for the benefit of everyone here, is currently serving 700 individuals with intellectual disabilities. They've been around for a long time. They provide year-round social and recreational services for individuals. They offer full-day programming for adults and after-school and summer programming for school-age children. And we do have children here in Irondale that are benefiting from the services that they provide. So this is a great organization. They're doing a tremendous work for our adults as well as children with intellectual disabilities. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Councilman Box.
Councilwoman Cutler and the mayor both said everything I was going to say, so no comments, keep it on consent.
Councilman Sims.
I've only heard positive things about the Exceptional Foundation. I'm glad that we're able to work with them.
And no comments from me. Number 9, Resolution 2024-R100, authorized execution of service agreement with Class Tran in amount of $2,500 for specialized transportation service. Mayor Stewart.
Is anyone here from Class Trend?
Class Tran? No.
Well, I'll go ahead and cover that as well. I try to give the individuals for the organization to say what they would like to say because they can do a very good job and do a better job than I can talk about what they do. But Class Trend, we've seen the transportation vehicles that ride through the entire Jefferson County area. Their primary focus is providing transportation to those who do not have transportation. Also, I know that they are, I'm sorry, Miss Sutton, I know she left, but I know that they've also have a connection with our senior activity center where individual could get at least one ride per year to be able to come to the Irondale Senior Activity Center that doesn't have transportation. But their main focus is providing transportation to citizens in Irondale that does not have transportation. I do not have that number right off the top of my head, but if you all need that, I can get it and send it to you. Not this week, but next week.
Councilwoman Quaylar.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would ask that we do is if we could have that information, that'll help me in responding to the questions asked by our residents. I'm good with it.
Councilman Box.
I'm good as well.
Councilman Sims.
I just know I see one of their vehicles, I feel like every other day. So I know that they're providing a service to our citizens. No questions.
All right, and no question from me. Number 10, the resolution 2024-R101 authorized the execution of the service agreement with United Ability Incorporated in amount of $2,500 to provide innovative services connecting people with disabilities living in Irondale to their communities and empowering individuals to live full and meaningful lives.
Is Ms.
Anyone?
Sellers here?
Anyone from United Ability?
Ms. Sellers, I don't think Ms. Sellers is here, but she's the executive director for United Abilities, and she lives in the Villa. So their executive director lives here in the city of Irondale, and I guess that's the beauty of Irondale. The executive director for Ruffner lives here. The executive director for the Cahaba lives here. Beth is also here now. I would ask that once we get through with everything on consent, if she can come and speak to whatever questions you all have about the Cahaba River Society. But the United Abilities is off of Lakeshore, and they provide support from the cradle to the grave for people that have disabilities. I've been over to their building. They provide a lot of great services. If you've come down here to recycle, not to recycle, shred it. If you participated in the shredded days, the vehicles that were out here came from United Abilities as a part of their program. So we've partnered with them on the shredding events that we have a couple of times a year, and we also try to help them provide services to adults that also live in the city of Irondale. If you saw one of the pictures last year, there was a guy in there in a wheelchair that was quadriplegic. He actually lives in the city of Irondale, and he's still there being served.
Councilwoman Quaylor. Oh,
Point of order, Council President. That
yeah.
come in on.
I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah,
she
he
was
was-
part of the. I thought she was a
I
part
thought she was
of
part of
United
United
Abilities.
United Ability.
But
I'm sorry.
Great testimony.
Yeah.
She's not a plant. I didn't invite her. I didn't tell her to get up and say that.
Yeah, I thought
didn't-
she was part of
I
the
didn't
United-
cue it up or anything.
Yeah.
But I guess her
I thought
testimony
she was part
speaks
of
better than what.
United-
But I
her-
want her to understand she
Yeah.
will have a chance to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her testimony speaks better than anything that I can say. So I'm just
100%.
gonna leave it alone. We just move on.
Yeah. Councilwoman Quaylor.
Mayor Stewart, thank you for your comments. And I got the one question that I had answered by our city attorney, so I'm good with this.
Councilman Box.
Thank you, Council President Pro Tem. Yes, ma'am. Just want to let you know there will be a time when you could share with us, and that'll be fantastic. Thank you. And no questions.
Councilman.
No
Sims.
questions? Okay, on consent.
Okay. Ain't no question from me. All right, number 11, Resolution 2024 R102, authorized allocation of public funds in the amount of $2,000 to be exclusively for the Summer Screen Scene movie series, June the 14th, June the 28th, July the 12th, July the 19th, with 1,000 coming from discretionary John London and 1,000 coming from discretionary Councilman Sims. Councilman Sims, I'll let you talk on that.
It's already been brought up. We've already had one of these, but yeah, awesome movies in the park. Let's see, hot dogs, soft drinks, and popcorn. And I got there late, so my daughter was really unhappy that she did not get any popcorn because they'd run out. So get there early, get your popcorn next time. But it's a great community event. The weather was awesome, and that's all I got.
Yep. Councilwoman Quaylor.
No questions.
Councilman Box.
No, I'm good with this.
No
Thank you.
question for me. All right. That's all the consent items. Now we regular agenda items. Number 12, Resolution 2024 R103, authorizing Mayor James D. Stewart or his designee to purchase 396 gallons EVR universal carts from Tata LLC in amount not to exceed $18,063. Frank
Frank is here.
Frank
I'll
is
let
here.
him
Is Frank here?
Speak to
Frank's
that.
here.
These are garbage cans, not recycled cans. When we originally purchased the garbage cans, we purchased 5,000. We're down to 100 now. They're getting a little older. They're starting to break, so we're replacing some. If we have another subdivision that we just built 174 homes, we're not going to be able to service them. So I've just put 300 down for this year. That's we paid originally $53.50 per can. This price 5 years later is $57 per can. It's also off of state bid, so we're down to 100. It's up to y'all.
Councilwoman Quaylor.
I believe the mayor said this was budgeted. Is that correct, Mayor?
Is this
No.
budgeted, Frank?
It's not budgeted. Okay.
That's unbudgeted.
Do we have a source? Do we have
General fund.
general? Okay, very good. I'm good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Box.
I guess the only thing I would say, since it is not budgeted, it could not be moved to the consent agenda.
No, you have to go through the
No.
Very well.
Yeah.
No questions.
That's 3-step, right? Process?
three-step
Yeah.
process. All right, Councilman.
No questions.
No question for me. All right, thank you, Frank. All right, number 13, Resolution 2024-104, authorize Mayor James D. Stewart or his designee to invest a sum of $1 million in a ladder portfolio of U.S. Treasury bills. Councilman Quaylor, you have your name on it. But you can speak on this.
Yes, gentlemen, back in May, on May 7th, we had two representatives, one from Raymond James and the other from Five Plan Partners. They had submitted their RFPs to us the latter part of March, and then I asked if you wanted them to come to answer any additional questions that you had. You stated yes, so we had them come on May the 7th, and they made their presentations. I left this blank because we had both of their presentations, and we now need to decide on who we would like to take care of this laddered treasury portfolio. And for the benefit of those in the audience, the reason that we did that took this approach is because we have funds in our reserved account. It's unrestricted. And we're needing to have our money work and bring us a better return than the normal process that we're getting. And the safest bet for the city is to go into T-bills. Those are government-backed treasury bills. So they're safe, and they are different terms. And we had two organizations that came before us, and they made their presentations. And so we're now to a point where we can now move forward on taking $1 million of our funds that we have in our reserve accounts to invest in a laddered portfolio. Laddered meaning it could be 6 months, it could be 3 months, it could be 17 weeks, but we have that liquidity if it's laddered. You may have some that are 17 weeks, you may have another that may be 6 months, but it will make up that $1 million. It could be 100,000 here, 250,000 here, $500,000 here, but we've always got that liquidity in case we do need to draw on these T-bills. Does anyone have any questions, gentlemen? Is there
Councilman
anyone?
Box, comments?
You said Raymond James, and what was the other company?
It was Five Plan Partners.
And are both of these plans guaranteed, the initial investments guaranteed?
Yes, they are.
No questions.
Councilman Sims?
I have no questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Councilman London, can I say
Yes.
one thing?
One question, yes, sir.
The only thing that I wanted to say is that I wanted to ask the council to increase the amount from $1 million to $1.25 million that we will put in treasuries. We are in great financial condition. Why not take an additional $250,000 and to be able to put that in a place where it could earn additional funds for the city? So if you all would consider raising it to $1,250,000, I would appreciate you all considering my recommendation.
Councilwoman Quaylor?
I'm good with 1.25. That's another 25,000 that we're putting to work and get us a better return.
That's 250,000.
Excuse me.
250,000.
Yeah. So that's-
1.25
Yes,
million.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, I
1.2.
apologize. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Box?
No questions.
Councilman Sims?
Sounds good.
No question for me. All right. All right, number 14, Resolution 2024 R105, authorize the Mayor James D. Stewart or his designee to execute an agreement with FI Plan Partners LLC for the management of the City of Irondale OPEB trust accounts. Councilwoman Quaylor, your name's on that.
Yes, what OPEB stands for is Other Post-Employment Benefits. And these are for our employees when they retire. They will have the access to medical, be able to draw on this to supplement some medical bills that they may have. And it is a requirement that the city do provide this for our employees so that they have something to draw on when they retire. And we're looking at they invest these into similar to a 401k or a 401(b). So there is a little bit of risk, but it's offset. It's a diversified investment. So they may invest in some large cap as well as some equity investments. And the only organization, we only had one institution that did submit an RFP, and this organization was Five Plan Partners, that did submit a proposal to us. This OPEB is currently being managed by Regions. They did not submit an RFP this time around. So this is what we are considering doing, is taking approximately 1.086 million that's currently in this OPEB trust account, and having Five Plan Partners take charge of this and invest it for our employees. Those are my comments, gentlemen, since we only had one. If y'all want to go with that, we can go with that, but I'll let the body decide on that.
Councilman Box?
Is there a problem with the return that we're getting from the management that Region's doing at this time?
Because of the, my understanding was the return was not what we were hoping to get. The management of it was not performing as well. We wanted to look at some other options. Five Plan, this would be, I would recommend that we do this on a 1-year basis so that we can look at it. If you looked at their proposal, they will make a presentation to one person at a 0.75%, I think is the fee. And if you go with more than one, it would bump it up to 1%. I think having it once is all we need, but having it on a probationary time frame, I think, is good, so that we can see how it's performing. And our city clerk and Mayor Stewart can certainly provide us with some updates based on their interviews with the Five Plan Partner reps, who in this case, it's Mark Hume, who is a resident here in Irondale. He's also on our CDA board. And then Mr. Trey Booth is his gentleman that worked with him in bringing this proposal forward. So I think if we get the updates from our city clerk and Mayor Stewart, this will help us to see whether or not we like what we're seeing. And if we don't, then we can open it back up for some proposals. But I think a 1-year time frame is a good one to go with. That's my recommendation. If you want to go with a longer time frame, you're free to do that as well.
Councilman Box, it's still your time.
And I did hear you say that some of it is risk-involved investment, so it's not all guaranteed. Do you know if our Regions is all guaranteed, or our Regions
No.
is risk?
No,
risk?
there's some risk involved in it.
That's all my questions.
Okay.
Councilman, well, when you all get through, I'll
Okay.
speak to you all about the risks, so you'll understand how the investment was basically set up from the initial deal. The way that it was set up is that all of it is at risk. It's in it was managed by Regions. I want to say last year it earned maybe 12 or 13%, but I'm talking off the top of my head. But it's in, we have what is called a balance portfolio. We have 50% of it that is in safe securities, treasury bonds, things of that nature. Then we have another 50% that is in the S&P 500, which it's an index that mirrors the entire S&P index, and it is in mutual funds. So instead of owning individual funds, you have a whole house full of funds to be able to do that. I would agree with Councilwoman Cuellar, especially since we have an election coming up and who knows going to be here in 2025, that we would only agree to have this agreement for 1 year. That in the event that a new group come in, then they can determine if they want to go in a different direction.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Sims?
I guess my only question is moving these assets from Regions to a new the new entity, is that going to cost anything? Are we getting any kind of penalties for?
No, because they're basically in mutual funds, so you're going to have some cost in the sale, and you may have some ups and downs based on the cost basis in the stock versus the sale of the stock. So I can't really say how that's going to play out because it's usually about 3 pages of mutual funds that we own that are part of it. I guess I say to say all of that. Yeah, we will have some costs, but it won't be a penalty. It'll just be because the selling price is either higher or lower than the cost basis in the stock.
All right. Thank you.
And Mayor, you and I talked about it. I think you, since you'll be working more with the person. I think you feel comfortable with this
Yeah,
FI Plan Partners. With Mark, I think it's
been
Mark.
knowing Mark for quite some
Yeah.
time. He lives.
In our-
I won't tell you all where he live. Y'all might want to go knock his head off, but he's in District 3. He serves on the CDA,
Yeah.
and he's done a good job with managing the treasuries for the CDA. I feel like he'll do the same thing for his city.
Yeah. Is Mark here tonight?
No, he's not here.
He's not here. tonight. Okay.
I was going to say, gentlemen, they did send it's one sheet of the proposed portfolio, and you have an idea. It is diversified, so that offsets your risk. And again, it's like a 401k or a 401(b) or 403b. Just like that, there are some risks that are involved, but this appears to be a very balanced approach, and it's why I was very comfortable with it.
Thank you. Number 15, Resolution 2024 R106, authorize the execution of an agreement with Topgolf for senior citizen events program in amount not to exceed $1,296.24. And that's Miss Kelly.
Ms. Sutton had to leave,
She had to leave. Okay,
but
Mayor.
to cut to the bottom line, the city would only be out of $142.20.
Okay.
And that would be an updated agreement as well.
Okay. Councilwoman Graylaw, have a question?
Yeah, just a couple of questions. How many of our senior activity participants, how many are going? Do you have a
32.
count?
32.
32, very good. And we have transportation to get them there. Very good. That answers my questions. I'm good.
City attorney would like to say something to you all.
Okay.
And the actual agreement that was in your packet was for 1296, .24, and it has actually been lowered to $1,087.20. So there is an updated agreement for that.
Is this budgeted? Is this budgeted? Budgeted.
Yes, right? Yeah, I thought so.
Councilman Box, any question?
No questions.
Councilman Sims?
No questions.
No question from me. All right, resolution number 16, resolution 2024 R107, authorize the execution of a service agreement by Studio by the Tracks Incorporated in amount of $2,500 to provide services to the city of Irondale to provide for those in the community with special needs and to create a community and career path for those individuals. We have Stewart.
Okay. Studio by the Tracks.
Okay.
They told me that you would be here. And I want to tell you, as you're coming, that I was very impressed by the story that was done by 3340 that talked about how you all service people that have disabilities, how you all take the flowers to be able to get paint out of it, for them to be able to create paintings that they actually sell. I thought that was very enlightening. If you want something to touch your heart, go to 3340 and you'll find it up under, was it Friday, June the 14th? Go up under June 14th, and it's 2 minutes and 38 seconds, and it gives you an overview of Studio by the Tracks.
Thank you, Mayor Stewart, and thank you, council and everyone here. Studio by the Tracks is a studio and gallery for youth and adults on the autism spectrum, if you don't know. We've been located in Irondale for 35 years. I started volunteering there in the early 90s when I was a student at UAB, and then I worked there in the mid 90s. I worked there in the early 2000s, and 18 years later, I'm back. I served under Iofe Miller, who's a resident of Irondale, who I'm sure many of you know. Studio by the Tracks is a unicorn. There's not really any place like it for, there are places starting to pop up here and there, but you can look on a map for what we do in serving this population, and you won't really find many places around. So what we do is we provide a safe and nurturing environment for our artists on the autism spectrum. And that's a lot of people. When I started volunteering and working at the studio, the statistics were 1 in 150 were diagnosed with autism. And now that figure is as high as 1 in 36. And also 1 in 8, according to the CDC, are diagnosed with sensory processing issues. So the studio is a place where we nurture each artist's individual journey. We have a youth program that we just started last year, and that is open to anyone from the ages of 16 and up on the autism spectrum. And we do outreach in our local schools, and we have participants from around the community, and we also have an adult program. And when I started working at the studio in the 90s, I met some of the artists that I'm still working with today. So like one of the other organizations, and we also serve United Ability, and we also serve Glenwood and the Exceptional Foundation. And in 35 years, we've never charged any of our program participants to come. We provide all the materials and services for free, and we sell the adults' artwork, and they get 60% of the proceeds of their sales. So it is a way for them to enhance their lives and to feel like they have meaning in the world. And I feel grateful every day to drive to Irondale, as I have for 3 decades when I worked at the studio. And like Mayor mentioned, we did start a sensory garden during the pandemic. Like everybody, we've had to shift and adapt our programming. And we also, as a result of a strategic plan, decided last year that we were only going to serve people on the autism spectrum because the incidence and the rates are increasing. So that we're here to meet the need, and we serve individuals from several counties, and a lot of people are driving to Irondale for our services, and we're very grateful for your support.
Thank you.
And if anyone's interested, please send people our way. We would love to have more artists.
Councilwoman Quaylar, question?
Thank you so much for your comments. The only thing that I asked for, it's part of our service agreement, and that is a financial statement. If you can get that to our city clerk so she can get it to us, I'm good with moving forward with it. Thank you.
Councilman Box? Councilman Sims?
Just thank you for everything y'all do. No questions.
And no question. Thank you for being in Iredale. Thank you. Number 17, Resolution 2024 R108 approves a 140 special event retail alcohol license for Trucks Candy Company. Trucks concession for an event to be held on June 29, 2024 at 3521 Ratcliffe Road, Irondale, Alabama, 35210. Lee? Your name's on it. Your name's on it. Any questions for Lee? Councilwoman
questions.
Quilla? Councilman Box?
What is the event?
Innovate.
Thank you.
Councilman
No
Sims?
questions.
No question. No question here. Number 18, that's an ordinance. All we have to do is go through the, if you want to discuss it, we already went through it last week, the last council meeting. It's an ordinance to 2024-07 amends Chapter 2, Article 4 of the Municipal Code of the City of Irondale related to the city council procedures. Any questions? Councilwoman Quaylar?
No, we went through it when it was presented the first time around.
Councilman Box?
No question.
Councilman Sims?
No questions.
And no question for me. All right, we have 2 public hearings that we're about to go through. I'd like to get someone to motion for into the public hearing.
Do we know, we do not have 19, or is that?
We just did. Did we do 19? We just did 19, right?
Did not.
Yeah. I'm sorry, 19.
Thank
you. Ordinance 224 amends the Municipal Code of City of Irondale as it relates to International Fire Code. I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry, McDaniels. Could you come and speak on it?
So there's a section in the fire code that deals with building repeater systems. This has to do with communications. These systems can get expensive, and we started talking about trying to lower this. You may set a square footage that we would start requiring them in new buildings. And we started looking at the 2024 fire code. We're under the 2021, but they have this exception. And this is the square footage when you start requiring sprinkler systems and all that, and it gets to a building size that we really need them. So to try to make sure we didn't have any undue expense on a smaller business that didn't have such a big building, we wanted to put this exception in there to allow us to do that and not. I mean, 'cause it could get to $30,000 or $60,000, and for a small business owner, I think that's a large expense. So we were trying to make sure we had some boundaries of where we were going to do it and be fair across the board. So we looked at what's going to be in the upcoming code anyway, and that's where we came up with the numbers.
Councilwoman Quaylar, questions?
No, the only thing for the benefit of our audience here and was on section B, amendments to the fire code. When I went to the Muni code, I didn't see section 510.1, and our city attorney explained that this is part of the International Fire Code 2021 edition. That's why it's not on our current Muni code, and this is being added, and it's taken from that, and you're making this exception that you just stated.
Correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilman Box.
I have no questions on this one.
Councilman Sims?
No questions, thank you.
And no question for me. All right. Public hearing. Could I get someone to motion in a public hearing?
Make a motion that we leave council meeting and go into public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
At this time, I'm going to read it. The first public hearing ordained the ordinance 2024-10 to rezone the property located at 1915 Alton Road, Irondale, Alabama, 35210 from C1 Commercial District to I1 Light Industrial District. And is Mr. Cochran here tonight? Is he here? Do you want to speak on it, Mr. Greg?
Greg.
Speak on it. Yeah. Do you want to speak up about this zoning change? Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a C1 district, but what he's wanting to do is a light mechanic work, so he needs to change it to an I1 to get that zoning that he needs to do what he wants to do.
Okay.
And it's already been through the planning and zoning, just has to go through the council now.
Okay. Thank you. All right, at this time, if there's anyone that's for this zoning, you can come forward at this time. Anyone that's for it? Nobody's for it?
Well, let me ask, is the
Hold on. Out of order.
is the owner here?
Is anyone, if he's here, he'll come up if he's for this zoning.
Point of order, no,
Is this anyone that's for,
Council Pro Tem. It could be a language barrier, I think is what Councilwoman Prayler.
well,
Yeah, this
that
is the
what we
owner.
got? Are we-
It's, if you'll kindly go.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You're for this ordinance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
We change the zoning, like you said. We have to do we're trying to do automotive repair there. So we try to do the business license, but he said it's not in zone. So we're just trying to change the zoning to industrial. So we can go ahead with the business license.
Okay. Any questions from Councilwoman Quaylar?
Yeah, for the benefit of the audience that's here, I was at the P&Z meeting. The reason that you're wanting that, you're going to be repairing cars, automobiles, right? That's what you're going to be doing?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And this is a joke, but I have to say it. We just honored a gentleman that had an auto repair shop for many, many, many years. Ran a wonderful shop, Mr. Chandler. Will you give us your word that you're going to be here as long as he is?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we already have another shop in Pelham, so we're just expanding over here, pretty much.
So you're coming from Pelham. Are you going to still have your shop in Pelham?
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to open one up in Irondale?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Councilman Box?
I didn't catch your name, sir.
My name is David
And your last name, please?
Herrera.
And are you intending on remodeling or demolishing the building? What,
Demolishing house that's there. There's already a building there. but we want to expand on a building there eventually.
Okay, very good. No further questions.
All right, thank you, Councilman Sims.
I have no questions. Thank you.
All right, what's the name of your place in Pelham?
Film Auto Service.
That off of 31 there?
Yep, that's right.
Yep. Okay. No, you are. All right. I don't have any questions. Thank you. Is there anyone else for this zoning? All right. If there's anyone that's not for this zoning, I can get a motion.
Make a motion, we exit public hearing and enter regular session.
Your second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 21, public hearing, ordained ordinance 2024-11, rezoned to property located at 1568 Alton Road, Irondale, Alabama, 35210 from R2 Residential District to a I1 Light Industrial District with the restriction that this property can only be used as a landscaping business. You want to speak on this?
Make a motion, we
We already done.
exit regular session and enter public hearing.
Second.
You got a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Carter, you up.
Same thing here, district there, he's gotta change to light industrial also to get what he's wanting. This is just a landscaping business on the road.
All right, if there's anyone here for this rezoning, yes, come forward. And for the records, you state your name, or city clerk. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Freddy Reyes from 5068 Alton Road. King Services LLC is a family-owned landscaping business that I've been working in the greater Birmingham area over 16 years. And we own this property since 2017, and we are requesting the change of property for R2 to I1. And I think in the first meeting, we see some concerns about the neighbors. That's the reason why we are requesting the restrictions of the only the landscaping business, and also in the part like the adjacent to the streets, like this Humvee Road. We are not going to touch it, nothing to the green areas over there. Basically, we using this location for storage my units. It's basically we come in the morning and we leave and we return in the afternoon. We don't even go to keep it trash on the location because we have the permit for Alton Road landfill to dump all our trash. And also one thing I wanted to add is don't get confused my lot with the lot on the side, because that's the lot like they clean it everything. Some neighbors, I think they're confusing from the lot on the side, like they are really taking everything. Okay, that's.
Any question for Councilwoman Squirrel?
Yes, I was at the P&Z meeting that was held on in particular of this case, and that was one of the concerns. And the gentleman did speak with several of the residents that were there to come up with an agreement, and he was willing to go with the restrictions on this zoning. And one gentleman lives, if you're facing Alton Road and looking directly at his lot, there's a half an acre that is nothing but trees. It's on a hill. And the neighbor wanted to make sure that there would be no clearing, that he would have that privacy because his house abuts that area there. And he was willing to include that in the rezoning restriction, that he would not touch that half acre and leave it as is, so that the resident on Hamby that abuts that property would have the privacy that he needs to have. So I wanted to mention that because that was brought up, and I don't know if it's in this ordinance, if we have that restriction, but I did want to mention that because Mr. Reyes was saying that he would be fine doing that. I also drove to the neighborhood because I wanted to have a better idea of the neighbors that live on Hamby. And there is a lot right next door. And yes, the neighbors were confused. That lot has been totally cleared, and they thought this gentleman did that. That is not the lot that's referenced. If you look at the design, you will see R2, the very first one. That is not the lot. The lot is, it says in red, 1568. That's the lot that we're looking at considering to rezone. And I also drove to the gentleman's lot to check, and what I saw there were three trucks that are from his business, and then he's got storage buildings where I'm assuming you're putting your equipment in those storage buildings, sir? Mr. Reyes?
I'm sorry.
Are you putting your equipment in these storage buildings?
Yeah, when they need to storage, because basically they are in the trucks. Just in winter time, we storage some of there.
Okay. Okay. Those are all the comments and questions that I have.
Thank you. Councilman Box.
The only questions I have is, as a landscape business, will you be storing any weed control or any gasoline, diesel fuel like that? Will that be stored?
No storage, the regular cans.
That's all my questions. Thank you.
Councilman Sims.
I think y'all have hit up anything that I had some questions about. So at the moment, I think I'm good. Thank you.
I do have a question. I think you confused me. So your lot is the lot with the bins? Oh, no. Yes or no? I think you confused me. The lots with the two bins, with the trash dumpsters and the side, the driveway, poor driveway. So that is your lot.
Now, they're Connexes.
Those bins, yeah. Those. So that's the lot. That's the lot. I think you confused me and said it wasn't a lot.
No, I said the lot that says R2, the very first one here.
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah.
That's not, a lot of neighbors were confused and thought that was the lot, and no, that is not the lot.
Yeah, what the neighbors that I talked to, is the lot that we're talking about tonight, and they're concerned. But here's their concern. And maybe they'll talk about it in a second. Let me just pause right there. If there's anyone else for this zoning, go ahead. Let me pause right there, because there may be someone against this zoning. They may have the same thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
So since my name is Nicholas Reyes and I'm from 1568 Alton Road, from a young age, my father has taught me about the importance of community service. He has been extremely involved in the church and with Cahaba Valley Healthcare, and he has taken me since I was a kid, and it really inspired me. And I think that this business, in being located in Irondale, is also considered an investment in the community because of the opportunities that we have now to be more involved in Irondale. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Is there anyone else for this rezoning? For it, yes. All right. Okay, you can have this. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Now, if there is one against this rezoning, you can come up and speak at this time. Yeah. Just make sure you state your name for the city clerk. Make sure you state your name for the city clerk.
Alvin K.
Okay.
I've got two lots.
Mhm.
There's one lot in between that lot and my lot. These people have got dumpsters up there. They have their employees parking up there and got the trucks parking up there. and I've been out there 50 or 60 years. And on the other side of the road, it wasn't nothing but houses. Now it's business all up as far as you can see. And I don't want them on this, I don't say they can put a business on a residential lot.
2 lots.
I've got 2 lots.
And 1592.
And they're jumping the gun, they're parking their dumpsters up there, their trucks, the employees are parking up there. And the city clerk had told them they couldn't do that, but they're doing it anyway. And why aren't there something been done about it?
And we couldn't hear really what they were saying from where we were sitting up there. So we don't know what they were saying to y'all.
And I don't see how they can put a business in all residential lots right in the middle. It's just not right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Kaeg? Mr. Kaeg? Mr. Kaeg?
Oh.
What are your lots again? 1592?
1592.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
I've got it right here. There's a 1576.
Their lot.
Yeah, there's a 1576. That's
Yeah, that's the one that's in between.
That's in between your two. You're right off Alton right here. He's right here. And you're over here.
Yeah, that's 2 lots.
Right, 1584 and 1592.
Yeah.
Okay,
Councilman Quaylar.
okay. No, I just was wanting some
Okay.
clarification.
Okay.
And then the employees are parking next to their
Okay.
house. They come in there early in the morning and leave late at night. I don't know if they're here tonight or not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else against this rezoning? Okay. I think I saw a hand back here first. Did you raise your hand up for against the rezoning? Yes. Come forward.
Especially for these,
You talk. Can you speak into the microphone for the? Give it the microphone.
Can you
Give it a
please speak in the microphone, ma'am? And what is your address? Which
1570.
1570?
Yes.
Okay.
From my, I can look straight across, see the vacant lot, and his is above it. We are very clear to where we need it.
I don't see you on the
Councilman
map.
Quaylar. Can we let her
Right,
speak?
but
Yeah.
I'm looking for
Okay.
it on the map.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, ma'am.
I just prefer, my preference and my husband's, my family's preference is to keep it residential. I fear for all the activity that's going to be going and the possibility of that not staying residential. We have a very small area already, and I don't want to lose any more.
Thank you.
I just feel that there's too much possibility of crime and everything too.
Thank you. Anyone else against this rezoning? Yes. And you're next. You're next. You state your name and address.
Curtis Stigall, 1585 Hamby Avenue. I'm against it. This whole area is residential, and I just do not want to see any kind of business move in. I think from on the left-hand side of Alton Road, from Bryant Drive to Hamby, and the whole Hamby Avenue is all residential. Why put a business in the middle of residential zoning?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Rocio Cáceres. I live in 1576 Alton Road. why I am against it. I've been there mostly all my childhood. My parents bought that house and now they transfer it to my name. I'd really, like everybody else, having a business there that's always been residential. That's why I'm not for it. There has been times in the morning around 6:30, one of their employees comes in with loud music and wakes us up. Also changes them, change their outfits right there in front of us. They park right against our house, and I have 2 kids, and I don't want them to see a man naked, right there. I don't want to see that. I don't want them to wake up at 6:30 because I have to get everything ready. It's 8 in the morning, 8 at night, and they're still there. I have no privacy at all. I wake up in the morning and then I just see them right there. Everybody parked. And then on Saturdays with loud music on the back and drinking. And I just really don't like it. The issue for me is the privacy, They just, like you said, they just came there, and I really don't have anything against them. I know them for years, but this is my home. This is where I grew up, and I really love Irondale. I grew up here. I've been through all the city schools, so I really have that love for Irondale, and especially in investment property. If I would buy a house and there's a company next to me, I would not buy it. So that investment, my property value will go down if there's a company right there. So that is why I'm not for it.
Can I ask you a question? All the photos I'm seeing it's the treed lot, but if they're already parking there and there's some kind of Xboxes there, I'm assuming it's been cleared, some of it?
Yes.
Yeah, I can if I'm right here, the cars are right there. I can see their cars parked.
What is your name again?
Rocio Cáceres.
Cáceres. Mucho gusto.
Thank you, Ms. Rosie. All right. Is there anyone else against this rezoning? All right. Get a motion.
Motion that we leave public hearing.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. That's the agenda items. Can I get someone to approve the agenda, the format of the agenda?
Councilman London.
Yes.
Before we do that, do you want Beth to go ahead and speak since you all are still in the
Yes.
discussing the agenda?
Beth, you here? Yes. Go ahead.
I deeply apologize for being late to the meeting and appreciate you being willing to let me speak on behalf of Copper River Society. We are at 2717 7th Avenue South in Birmingham, but of course I live here in Irondale at 5350 Cornell Drive and have since 1995. Love being in Irondale. And I just want to express my deepest appreciation for the support that the City Council and Mayor have given to Cahaba River Society and the things we try to achieve to protect the Cahaba and the beautiful public spaces along the river in Irondale. I wanted to tell you a little bit about our programs, and I had sent the mayor a letter with a sort of a report of our activities over the last year. I don't know if that was in your packet or not, but I can certainly forward that to all of you as well. But I want to quickly summarize it to say, of our programs, one is volunteer stewardship. We believe people take care of places they're personally connected to. And so we involve volunteers in helping to take care of the river. Overall, in the last year or so, our volunteers have hand cleared 15,500 pounds of trash and invasive species out of the river. And of course, all the trash that we clear out of the river upstream from Irondale helps Irondale as well. And Shades Creek was involved in that as well. In Irondale alone, over about the last year and 3 months, we've held 13 volunteer work days with 293 volunteers. And in particular at the Irondale River Walk, as y'all probably know, it was overrun with kudzu. And it's always been overrun with privet, but the kudzu got super out of control. And with the help of Jenny Brown, our volunteer of the year 2 years ago, we were able to go in and we didn't want the city to have to broadcast spray herbicide in a place where there's so many people and pets and the river's just right there. And so our volunteers hand cleared a lot of that kudzu and privet. 4,000 pounds of invasive species were taken out, and they stabilized those areas with native species and wildflowers. So we continue the program that Jenny's been heading up. And some of the volunteers came from, well, of course, the city was a partner. Motion Industries brought a lot of volunteers. Cahaba Brewing and the Bar Mom's Basement. It's one way we reach a lot of young people is through these bars and breweries. The Freshwater Land Trust, Little Garden Club, Prince of Shades Creek, United Way, and Clay Chalkville School were among the partners that helped to come and clean up and fix up the river in Shades Creek. Your funds help us to continue that work and also to pay for interns. Every year we have young interns that we pay to help us out with these volunteer activities, and it's a great way for there to be early career opportunities in environmental work for young people. We also, as you know, have a really strong recreation program. We lead canoe trips, including canoe trips from Moon River and Grants Mill. Those are open to the public. You can sign up on our website. We provide canoe, guide, paddle jackets, everything. Those are a lot of fun. And we promote the river with the Cahaba Blue Way Water Trail, which it stretches from Trustful all the way down to Old Cahaba and Selma, the Selma area in Dallas County, with the idea that the more people that come and enjoy and recreate on the river, the more people take care of the river, and the more people spend their money on restaurants and gas and whatever all they need, as well as the river is quite a strong draw for people to live in the Iredell area because we have such beautiful nature accessible here. We are partnering with Alabama Scenic River Trail and Cabo River Keeper to place mile marker signs on the river, so that when people are on the river, if they get into trouble, they can easily reach environmental or emergency services, and your folks will know exactly where they are. And that, I think, will be a big help in the future for emergency services, because every now and then they might get on the river at 5 o'clock at night, right? They should have gotten on at 10 in the morning and it's dark and they're not sure where they are. So that's some of the work that we do in Irondale. Our river sustainability program works to ensure that when development happens, it's compatible with a healthy river long term. And we do design collaboration with new development to reduce stormwater and flooding impacts and encourage green infrastructure and natural methods. As an example, we're in conversation right now with Stuart Perry about the library design and what can be done there, what they have planned there to reduce stormwater impacts. We offer that. We worked with the county on the stormwater design for the expansion of the roadway at Grants Mill and the roundabout. And we offer our services to the city and to developers in a collaborative fashion. Anytime you would like to call on us, we are your resource for those kinds of things. We're also working with the Nature Conservancy on a watershed plan for the whole Shades Creek watershed that will make all the properties in the creek's watershed eligible for state funding, state grants to do retrofit projects to shore up the banks of the creek and to reduce stormwater loading from existing areas. And with your funding, we've offered to the Nature Conservancy that we can partner and help fund on-the-ground projects, or for instance, the engineering that might be needed to make an on-the-ground project eligible to then go and look for grant funding to make it happen. One of the things I know the Nature Conservancy has been looking at, for instance, is the little waterway that's in between Irondale Community School and the street, and can that be turned into really a beautiful area that reduces stormwater impacts and can be an outdoor classroom about nature. We had a huge success last year. We rarely get involved in legal action, but the Birmingham Waterworks Board had proposed and promised in a legal settlement in 2000 to put permanent conservation easements to protect all their Cahaba and Lake Purdy land, and then they never did it. And we tried collaborating with the Water Board for 3 years for them to step up and do what they legally promised to do, and they wouldn't do it, even though 20 years had gone by or so. And so we had to take them to court. In fact, they told us in an open meeting, you're going to have to sue us to make this happen. We were successful with support from the Alabama Supreme Court, and we have now protected 7,000 acres of Birmingham Waterworks Board land around the Cahaba and Lake Purdy for 75 years. And we will be monitoring that every year. And so that's a whole new role for us, that kind of land protection. And so we're having to figure out kind of how we're going to do that and fund that. And then finally, our Clean Environmental Education program brings youth and teachers into the river for hands-on environmental education. And we have served 44,000 youth and teachers since 1996. Just last year, 3,380 students and teachers either in the river or the river education brought into their classroom. Over half of those were youth of color, because we feel like our programs, who we serve, needs to look like the demographics of what we call our people shed: Jefferson, Shelby, Bibb, Perry, and Dallas County. We would love to serve more Irondale schools. We have in the past. We have had a harder time getting them to agree to come on the river with us. And Mayor, we really appreciated you coming on the river with us recently, although it took a little bit to make that happen. But thank you, and you saw what a beautiful trip that was. And so we're hoping to serve more schools here, but also there are a lot of nonprofits that serve Irondale youth and churches that serve Irondale youth, and we will arrange river field trips with them. They're very safe. We don't do it on the main stem up here. We do it on the Little Cahaba River below Lake Purdy, where the river is very shallow. The kids are never more than calf deep. It's gravel bottom, and it's super safe and beautiful. And we serve Girls Inc., Girls and Boys Clubs, Scouts, church youth groups, any nonprofit that serves Irondale youth. We would love to take them on an educational trip on the river. So those are some of the things that y'all have made possible and will continue to make possible with this amazing grant. We're deeply, deeply grateful for your love for the river and the ways you help to protect it. Thank you. Any questions?
Councilwoman Cuellar, any question?
Ms. Stewart, thank you so much for giving us all this information. We did not have it. Our residents were asking how the funds that Irondale has been given to you over the last 2 years, and now another 50,000 this year. They were wanting to know how these funds were being used. You provided us with a very good explanation, so I want to thank you for coming. We did not have this information, and this is very helpful. So thank you for doing this.
You're welcome, and I'd love to forward that information to y'all via email so that you have that. Also, I forgot to mention this, but it's important, and I wanted to let you know that I'm retiring as Executive Director of Cahaba River Society at the end of July after 29 years of service to the Society. I have loved working with y'all. I've loved working with the Society. I can't imagine a better job. And of course, as an Irondale resident, I will stay available. Anytime y'all want to call on me for advice, I'm happy to do that. Hope to stay very involved.
Councilman Box?
Just one question still. Can you tell us how many miles, how many acres that is in Irondale of the Cahaba River?
Oh, gosh. Counselor, I'm so sorry. I don't have that number for you, but we can figure it out and I can send it.
Just because
Yes, please.
Councilman
You've got a
Sims?
lot of Cahaba.
Councilman Sims?
Thank you for all y'all do. I don't know who is trying to fill your shoes come the end of July, but I'm sure we'll meet them soon. Yeah, I think y'all do a lot more. I mean, I knew y'all do a ton, and you just said a ton more than I even knew about. So amazing stuff. Y'all do. Keep doing it, and hopefully I can get my kids out on the river with y'all at some point in the next couple months.
Please do. And one of the other things we do every year is a bio blitz, where we choose one particular location. We open it up to anybody in the public who wants to come. We have a lot of scientists there. And in about 7 hours, we see how many species we can identify in that location in the water and on the land. I'd love to figure a place to do that in Irondale. We have to have facilities, we have to have bathrooms, and we need parking. So it's a little hard to do it at the Irondale River Walk, but I'd love to see how we can make that happen. And just as an example, at Shelby County's Cahaba Park, we identified over 300 different species in 7 hours, and people as young as 5 years old participated. So it's a great way to involve the community in a place so that they learn what's really special about it.
Good.
I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Well, first of all, thank you for your service. And I guess I can say this in August, maybe a resolution congratulating you coming, I guess, from the mayor's office. Might be something coming.
I think that was a hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. And have you ever found any sharks or alligators in the car?
Sharks, no.
No,
Although a lot of little kids, when they go, they're like, "Are there sharks?" We're like, "No, we're in North Central Alabama. There's no sharks." They really ask it. Are there bears? Are there lions? A lot of these kids have never been in a natural river before. They really don't know what to expect. Alligators, yes, but mostly way downstream. Although I heard there was once an alligator after a big flood that came up into Irondale and climbed over into the Pine Tree Country Club lake. I don't know if that's an urban myth, but we heard about it. But alligators, no.
Okay, thank you.
Not no.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you.
Thank y'all
Yes.
so much. Thank you.
With that being said, can I get approval of the form of agenda?
We already approved the form. Then I'd like to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda with items 1, 2, 4, 5,
No, hold on.
6.
Stop. Slow down.
Okay.
I don't think we approved the form of agenda. We didn't approve the form of agenda.
Motion to approve
Which
the
time?
form of the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we got public comments on agenda items only. Public comments on agenda items only.
John Bavone at 1296 Shades Terrace. I'm going to read from the 990 of the Cahaba River Society. Line 15, salaries. Line 12, revenue. Percent revenue going to salary, 62%. Meaning of the $50,000, $31,000 goes to salaries, $19,000 goes to mission. That's a small amount. In addition, the Cahaba River Society held a September Catfish Fry fundraiser last September. $70,000 came in. With this $50,000 proposed, that's 70% of their fundraiser. Why don't the city promote the fundraiser? Go back to what it was last year, $25,000, and use that $25,000 to Heidi's kids, because I doubt if a percent of their revenue goes very much above anything to be equivalent to 62% of revenue going to salaries. Again, 25, which is what was voted on last year, use that 25 to Heidi's kids.
Anyone else on agenda items only?
She can comment on agenda items.
That agenda items? Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I appreciate that concern, and we're very mindful of the amount of money we spend on mission. So our staff are our programs, our education director, our volunteer stewardship director, our river sustainability director, much of my time. Our staff are what produces this work that I've been relating to you. So staff is mission.
Thank you. Anyone else on agenda items only?
Button, 1296 Shades Terrace. I'd like to know what the salaries are of these people that are on this society compared to the salary that the lady who runs Heidi's kids.
You're not going to get an answer, so you may want to
Yeah,
keep
I know,
going.
but that's something you should think about.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman London, can I say something?
Yes.
If you all want to give an additional $25,000 to Heidi Kids, I'm quite sure she'll take it.
100%. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Thank you.
Hi, Jackie Crandall, 4301 Cahaba Cove Road. I'm here speaking as a wife and parent and a resident of Irondale. I consider the Cahaba River my backyard. We spend a lot of time in the river. We have enjoyed thoroughly the Cahaba River Society's educational programs, be it a canoe ride as one of the trips, or even just being able to reach out to them to say, hey, I found this really awesome mussel in the river and I want to know what kind it is because I haven't seen this big one before. But also something really neat. My oldest son attends JCIB Middle School, which is up in Pleasant Grove. Their school is designed where all the kids get sorted into houses, kind of like Harry Potter. His house is the House of Inquirers. Their team color is yellow. It's really fun for the kids of different grade levels. But this year, each house got partnered with a nonprofit organization, and his nonprofit organization was the Cahaba River Society. And so Will, who is a wonderful employee of the Cahaba River Society, got to work with Mr. Landon, one of the science teachers. All of the kids in the House of Inquirers got to go on field trips to partner with the Cahaba River Society. And they are an amazing organization, and we are blessed to have them as a part of Irondale. And so I fully support supporting that organization. I support all of these, though. I can say Heidi's Kids is great, and all of these Ruffner Mountain my family takes advantage of. And so if my family had the money to give away, I would choose to do so myself personally, but I appreciate the city supporting these organizations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, at this time, can we get, oh, I'm sorry. Got one coming. It's Terry.
Terry Johnson, Short, 1504 Monticello Road. I agree, having worked at nonprofit organizations for the bulk of my adult life, nonprofit organizations serve a valid purpose, and donations to them are critical for their operations. I agree all of these should be funded tonight, as they all benefit the city directly or indirectly. But I'm here to speak on behalf of Ruffner Mountain. I'm one of the paying members of Ruffner Mountain who lives in Irondale. The donation provides essential support for their critical operations. Because of the design of the mountain where it's situated, it encompasses a lot of different neighborhoods. There's not an overseer for maintenance of the park, so it's left to the different municipalities to provide funding for that. Until the city of Irondale made its contribution beginning in 2021, the city of Birmingham was the only city to provide funding to Ruffner Mountain. And to answer a question that was posed on social media, not in a very nice manner, in 2023, the city of Birmingham pledged $225,000 annually for the next 3 years, with a proposal this year to increase their funding to $250,000 annually for their fiscal year 2024. The contribution that the city of Irondale has made has been approved annually since 2021, so this is nothing out of the norm for prior years. And this helps Ruffner to preserve, to fulfill their mission, to preserve and care for Ruffner Mountain as a sanctuary for our neighbors, native plants, and animals. They're magnificent stewards of this resource that directly benefits the citizens of Irondale, as you heard them attest to, and I ask you to consider and approve this resolution.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. At this time, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Before we do that, Councilwoman Quaylar, since you got your question answered, could we put 3 back on consent agenda?
There was one where we were asking for the river, and that's what I said is if I can get information on how much of the river is in Irondale,
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm good with the consent.
Consent.
Yeah, as
Okay.
long as I get that information, because our residents are asking, and I want to be able to respond to their questions. That's what all this is about. This is not against the Cahaba River. This is not against Ruffner Mountain. It's about providing information for our residents when they ask a question.
Thank you, Councilwoman. All right, can I get at this time motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including items 1 through 11.
A second?
Do we have to note the changes we made?
With the changes noted earlier.
Gotcha.
Additions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Regular agenda. Can I get someone? Now, number 12 has to go through the ordinance process, which is an unbudgeted item.
I make a motion that resolution 2024-R-103 be considered read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, went to a brain fart.
I make a motion that we suspend all rules that would prevent prevent Resolution 2024-R-103 from the immediate consideration.
Roll call, Councilman Quaylar.
Yes.
Box.
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Me, yes.
I make a motion that Resolution 2024-R-103 be approved and adopted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, number 13. All right, legal, do we need to put a person in this box here before we approve it? Okay. Okay.
I make a motion, resolution 2024 R104 be approved with Raymond James being the company.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And would we change the investment sum of
1.25.
With the, that's right, with the
Right.
sum of $1.25 million.
Right. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Number 14.
I make a motion that Resolution 2024-R-105 be approved, having 5 plan partners to manage the city's OPEB trust account.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 15.
Make a motion that resolution 2024 R106 be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a question. Did we move that to consent? No? Okay.
No. No, we didn't move it.
Okay.
All right. That's been approved. Number 16.
Make a motion, resolution 2024 R107 be approved.
Got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
17.
Make a motion that resolution 2024 R108 be approved.
Second?
Second.
Let's try that again. Second?
Second.
Quayler. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
18.
I make a motion that ordinance 2024-07 be considered read.
Second.
All in favor?
Second reading, don't we just?
Okay,
normal-
thank
it's a
you.
normal.
I make a motion that ordinance 2024-07 be approved.
Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 19.
Make a motion that ordinance 2024-09 be considered read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion that ordinance 2024-09 we suspend all the rules that prevent the immediate consideration of it.
Second? Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call. Councilwoman Quaylar?
Yes.
Box?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Motion.
Finally, I make a motion that ordinance number 2024-09 be approved and adopted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Number 20.
I make a motion that ordinance 2024-10 be considered read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I make a motion that we suspend all rules that would prevent the immediate consideration of ordinance 2024-10.
Second.
Got a second? Which one? Box. Okay. All right. Roll call.
Yes.
Box?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
And me, yes.
I make a motion that ordinance 2024-10 be approved and adopted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
21.
I'd like to make a motion that we postpone this ordinance to give Mr. Reyes an opportunity to meet with the residents. They've stated what their objections to the passing of this ordinance is, and that he have that opportunity to meet with them and talk to them, and if they can come to an agreement, then it's something that can be represented. But as it stands now, it doesn't appear that they're at any stage of an agreement. So I'm asking that we postpone it.
It's a motion on the table for postponement. Question, Councilman Box.
Second. I would suggest that Mr. Reyes get with, especially the lady that lives right next door to you, consider a privacy fence or something that would, and developing rules and regulations for your employees that would address her concerns and then come back and pursue us with those agreements.
My suggestion was to go through it, get through the first reading. If you guys wanted to see it go through, get through the first reading and see what happens.
Well, let me ask legal this question, because if they were to amend what's already amended, would we be able to do that during the second reading, or would we be better off with all of these agreements that they may make, if they make them, in the new ordinance, instead of going through a second reading, because it sounds like we're going to need to make additional amendments to it?
The only restriction is that it be an I-1 used only as a landscaping business. And so if there were any additional use regulations, such as that, then it would definitely need to be re-advertised. But it would actually have to be a, use concerning use of it, such as a landscaping business or as an additional type business. If you're talking about an actual buffer, then that would not be a restriction. That would just be, just part of what he agrees to.
But if we were talking about having some privacy fencing, things of that sort, that would be something that would need to come back and not be a part of a second reading. Am I understanding that correctly?
I would say that that's not a zoning restriction.
Okay,
So I would think you could proceed with your second reading and with the actual notice that has been given, since it would be accurate at that point.
So for the residents that are here, if he were to go back and try to work something with you, would you be good with coming back at our next council meeting on July the 4th for the second reading of the ordinance? I'm wanting to really listen to what the residents are saying. That is very, very important to me. All right, there was someone else. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much for your comments. Yes.
Yeah. Right, and there's also one that just left. Her and her husband left. The one that lived right next door, they left.
So I'll leave it up to the rest of the body. If you want to move forward and come back with a second reading, that's whatever the body chooses to do.
I say you move forward,
There is a motion.
come back to
on
the second meeting, and then all it takes is a majority vote.
There is a motion on the floor to postpone
To
with,
postpone it.
There's
with
a
a
motion.
second, so you would need to deal with
Right,
that
let's deal with
first.
the motion on the floor to postpone it. Councilman Box.
Gentlemen, are y'all good with postponing?
Well, you got a motion second, so we're going to
Right.
call that to a vote.
Yes, I
Right.
make a motion that we
Did you second
postpone.
it to postpone it?
I second the postponement, but if after listening to legal, I think we're better served by giving it its first reading.
Okay.
So I'll withdraw my second.
Okay.
Well, I think actually Counselor
Yeah.
Sims had seconded
And
it.
I'll withdraw my
He's
second.
withdrawing his
Okay, all right, so let's take it through the ordinance process. All
So
right,
then that actual motion, fails
Failed.
for lack of a second.
correct. All right,
I make a motion that ordinance number 2024-11 be considered read.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion, we suspend all rules to prevent the immediate consideration of ordinance 2024-11.
Councilwoman Quaylar? Oh, I'm sorry, got a second on that one? Did we get a second one? Did we get a second? No second.
So it will not necessarily automatically come back. Someone will have to
Well,
make
it's been
sure that
read.
they call. Well, but yeah, we had this issue before, so we'll have to make sure that someone contacts the city clerk to make sure that it gets put on the next agenda.
So if we give it a second and then get a vote, then it comes back as a majority. So do we want to reconsider giving it a second, go through it?
Where we are currently is that it will have had its first reading.
Where
It
we are
did
right
fail
now?
for lack of a second to
Okay.
proceed, you know.
So we got through the first reading.
Correct.
So come back as a majority next time.
Yes. But what will happen is one of us counselors or the mayor or someone will have to call the city clerk to ensure that it is included on
Correct.
the agenda on the upcoming thing, because there's a precedent's been set.
All right. That's all the agenda items for tonight. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Oh, well, I have to ask.
We have
for-
an executive session.